Hey guys, it's Danny. Alrighty, today we're gonna do some diary entries. This is the series that I started recently. It has to do with updates, but pretty much updates nobody actually asked for. They are, however, important to me because I do make a sort of journal or a database with my orchids, since I do like to observe their evolution in time as well, and keeping pictures in a folder, not a good idea. I've deleted so many picture folders in my life, oh my goodness. So today we're gonna look at some orchids we didn't see probably in a long time. I will still talk about their history slightly so you know what happened so far, why they look like they look, and some of these orchids you really didn't see for a long time, or you don't even know I have because I don't really feature them. But first, let's start with something that you do know I have, but probably you thought I already killed. For those of you with a knowledgeable eye, you kind of already know what this is. Yes, this is a Miltoniopsis. And it's not dead. It's actually growing and is developing and looking nice. For those of you who don't really understand, well, Miltoniopsis are cool growing orchids. They don't really prefer warm temperatures. And my grow room and my climate is pretty much warm to hot all the time. I do keep my grow room within limits with the use of an AC, but I don't run it 24/7 in the summer, because, well, you know, electricity bill situations. So Miltoniopsis have never really been my strong point, and I've kind of stayed away from them, but I did want to try out with this one. And as you can see, this one is totally different than the other ones that I had. Well, there are two possibilities here. By the way, this is the Miltoniopsis phalaenopsis hybrid. I presume it's a Miltoniopsis phalaenopsis hybrid because it kind of looks like that, but it's not the pure species. I'm not even sure if it's a hybrid of that. It's just me assuming stuff at this point. She does look different than the other Miltoniopsis in the sense that she has plumper pseudobulbs, and that's again a trait of the Miltoniopsis phalaenopsis, which has nothing to do with the phalaenopsis, it's just a name. And I always hoped that that type of Miltoniopsis would be more tolerant to warm conditions. It might very well be at this point. Look at this. She's rooted. Wow. Okay, she's very well rooted. These are the new growths. And look at that. They're growing without crinkles. Well, maybe a little bit of crinkling here, but nothing super dramatic. She's still alive. More than that, she's actually doing okay. I cannot believe this. We'll see what happens in the summer. In the springtime, you know, everything is nice, but in the summer, everything can change. I do have a little faith in semi-hydro. I think the setup is actually adequate for cooler growing orchids that at the same time love moisture and air. So fingers crossed, we'll see how this one does through the summer. So far so good, but you know, the worms have just kicked in. So from now on, it's interesting to see what's happening. And the second thing I wanted to show you, again, you'll never guess what this is, but some of you might know, it's an Nelly Eiler. Yep, it's not just any Nelly Eiler, it's the red one. And yes, she's alive and she's doing well. So there we go. I'll turn it around just a little bit. This is the old pseudobulb. Look at the plumpness of that pseudobulb. Again, she's very well rooted, and these are the new growths that look a little horrible. Yes, they have the crinkly leaves and all of those things that scream dehydration, but you know how Nelly Eilers are. They don't have roots when you purchase them, or at least many of them, and it's really hard to root them. This one has rooted, and she did mature her new growths. However, she could. That's okay. I'm not looking for the prettiest orchid around. I just want her to be alive. And this is the furthest I got with the Nelly Eiler. And furthermore, ta-da! What do we have here? Yes, it is a flower spike, and I checked this growth, she has a flower spike too. At this point you might say, but you should cut the flower spikes because look at these new growths. They're not necessarily super impressive. Yes, they're not. However, the orchid has an impressive pseudobulb in the back that is full of energy, and also the orchid has roots. There is no point in me cutting the flower spikes, even though the growths are tiny. They will not have a beautiful, luscious display, most probably, but that's okay. I can still enjoy some flowers. The idea with cutting the bloom is just to cut a drainage of energy. If the orchid has the energy, then you really don't have to cut the flower spikes. Just enjoy the blooms, and that's what I intend to do with my Nelly Eiler. Now again, summer is coming, so we'll see how she goes, but I've never had a Nelly Eiler be so healthy at this point, So yet again, I'm keeping my hopes high with this one, and hopefully she will be the exception to the rule. And thank goodness I don't have to repot this orchid. All I need to do is just up-pot it when it gets big, because if I mess up the root system again, she would be completely gone. These are those types of orchids. You mess around with the roots once, you might lose them. You mess around with the roots twice, you're certainly going to lose them. So yeah, semi-hydro for me with these guys. Now, how many of you remember that I have a Dendrobium thyrsiflorum? Well, guess what? I have him for about 4 years already, and this is what I have to show of him. This guy has never done exceptional for me, never bloomed. Well, he is growing, he's pretty healthy, he does have roots, and I do believe in semi-hydro he will develop a little better. He likes water in the growing season. And these are the growths. I always suspected this was mislabeled, because to my eyes he doesn't look like a thyrsiflorum, but who knows, maybe I just didn't care for it properly. So he never excelled, although I'm not entirely sure what I did so wrong. Yes, we had the move, we had to repot him and so on and so forth, but I do have orchids which performed a lot better than him. Dendrobium orchids, that is. So I'm not entirely sure if he does have some sensitivity to something, or he's a little finicky and combined with my bad behavior, you know, equals failure. But here he is. When I purchased him, he did have some very tiny pseudobulbs, and he did grow a little bit more. I cannot really say he didn't do anything, but he never ever bloomed. I tried the winter rest thing. I tried not resting him but cutting the fertilizer or the water. If I cut the water, he would dehydrate way too much for my comfort. I don't know, I never got the care right for this guy, or he just didn't like me all that much. But I still have him, and I just repotted him. I really hope I will see a change this summer, because if it is indeed a thyrsiflorum, it should grow very tall. At this point, he's a little taller than my palm. The pseudobulb is exactly like my palm. It's not a big guy, and this orchid should be tall. That's why I'm saying I have a funny suspicion it is a farmerie or a farmerie hybrid. Thyrsiflorums are way bigger than this, but who knows. So yeah, I got him as a young plant seedling, young plant 4 years ago, and I don't have anything to show off. But he's still alive. I wanted to do this entry because I have this hope that this year it will be better for him. Who knows? We're gonna see. But there we go. I do still have the thyrsiflorum, just nothing special about it so far. I'll try to do better for him, and hopefully he will repay me. Oh, P.S. I had a year when I moved in here. Oh, he got so upset with me when we moved. In 2016, he did not put out any new growth. Did not grow anything for a year and a few months. And afterwards he grew some new growths. But yeah, he stayed on me like nothing else. Although the root system was still good, he does have a really good root system. He just didn't want to grow. And yeah, that's what happens when orchids get upset with you. Was not expecting it. But yeah, he has a personality and he likes to be set back easily. Let's make a little entry for my Sarcochilus as well, although we talked about her, I think 6 months ago. Anyway, I was telling you that these orchids grow very slow in my opinion, and mine didn't do much. Ever since then, I placed her in brighter light. She's actually sitting with the Cattleyas at this moment, and I have to say I do like the growth a lot better. Look at this. The first 2 sets of leaves on each one, they're new growth. So they didn't grow all that much. I have a feeling now they're growing a little faster, maybe. But whatever grew, it grew nicely, so I'm happy about that. However, there is no bloom. But I did see something lately. Now I'm not sure if I can show you with this lens, but I'll try. Alrighty, so right here, do you see this little nubbin? Yes. What is this? Is this a little shoot or a little spike? I know there's a root right behind it or beneath it, but it comes from the orchid, not from this growth. So this little nubbin might very well just be another one of these growths. But it's kind of high, don't you think? For those of you who have experience with Sarcochilus, can you please let me know in a comment down below how the spikes look like in comparison to new growths? I tried Googling it, but I couldn't really find something very conclusive. So do they look like this, or do they look different, the spikes? Are they thinner? Are they a different color? You know, details of the sorts, because My Sarcochilus is driving me crazy. I want to see this orchid in bloom so bad because I want to know if I can grow it properly so I can get more. Because I love them, they're so nice and tiny, and if you see the flowers, they're just the most beautiful thing you've ever seen. So in any case, whatever this might be, I wanted to film it just to have some footage of it at some point. Maybe after years and years of growing Sarcochilus, I can go back and say, hey, you know what? If you see it, don't get too excited, or this is a flower spike. Start parting. You know what I'm saying? What is this? New growth or flower spike? What do you think? Speaking of orchids I'm tempted to buy more of, here is my mule year Oncidium that I received from one of my viewers. And yeah, he's still alive. He has quite the great root system. I recently repotted him. He was in a transparent pot. And furthermore, you don't really see it, we have flower spike here. Look at that! Now this orchid is currently not classified as an Oncidium anymore. It has its own genus, pretty much like the Cycopsis, and I think you've already noticed the resemblance with the Cycopsis, at least leaf-wise. It has really, really thick leaves and very, very tiny pseudobulbs, almost non-visible. They are somewhere here, they're just very, very tiny. I think right now they're classified as Trichocentrums. Kept this guy in pretty bright light, and it was a little too bright. Well, he was sick as well. So I had to pull him back, but the leaves are very, very red, all except the new leaf, which has a beautiful pigmentation on it. However, though, it's blooming, so that's good. And right now, if you remember this guy, he was pretty sick. He didn't have roots, he was a little dehydrated. He's perfectly healthy right now. The root system is perfect on this guy, so no reason to cut the flower spike, even though he was sick 6 months ago, let's say, right? But no reason to cut the flower spike now. I'm looking forward to it, and here it is. It starts from the base near the pseudobulb, actually, like any other Oncidium. And when it starts, it's already super thin, so you know it's not a new growth, and it's already a little bit red and has little sheaths on it. It's really kind of easy to tell them apart. So I'm really happy with this guy, and I think I will go ahead and order myself a few mule year Oncidiums because they seem to do perfectly fine. And here is some news that is definitely not good. This is the Renanthopsis Mildred Jameson. I was really excited with this orchid when I purchased it. Remember, I purchased it in January and I was afraid it suffered on transport, but it didn't. Well, apparently it did. The cold temperatures, I think, affected it, and now I think she has stem rot. All of the leaves have yellowed and fell. This one will fall as well. I don't know about the new leaf. She's not yellow just yet, but I'm not keeping my hopes high. With this type of disease, the roots are perfectly fine. It's the stem that starts to die off. Eventually the roots will die off as well, but you know, if the stem is completely affected, and I will take a look after the sheaths dry, then there's nothing to do about the orchid, and that is that. And sadly, I don't have an elegant solution for stem rot except systemic fungicides, which are not guaranteed 100% to work anyway. They're also kind of toxic. You know, I'm not a fan of that. Perfectly fine substances, use them if you want. I'm not the girl for that though, so I will not use them. And yeah, sadly, I do believe that January weather is really not a good idea for ordering orchids. I thought I made it. No, never again. I shall never purchase orchids in the middle of winter. So I think this is the last time that we're gonna see this orchid. I'll keep you up to date, why not? But if you never see it from now on, this is what happened to it. I suspect stem rot. I'll see what's what. I'll try to remove the sheaths, and if I see something interesting, I'll film. I'll try my best, but I know myself. I know I'm not good with stem rot. I'm better with crown rot, but this is not crown rot. So that's that. I shall purchase myself another one when I see it. And me and Renanthera monachica, we're not friends. I just ordered myself another Renanthera monachica. We'll see how that one does, but so far, that orchid doesn't want to belong to me. What to do? And that's about it for today's diary and PS. If you're wondering what you see in the background, it's my two Ivanagaras. This is the ICU Ivanagara and my old Ivanagara. There is a difference in bud count, but this one is just now becoming healthy and vigorous. And there is a difference in flowers. This one is paler than my older one, so I'm really curious to see the difference in fragrance, if there is one. Anyway, I'll let you know. We're gonna do a separate video on the Vanagara because she deserves it, but that's for a different time. I need to wait on my old Vanagara to bloom as well. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. Happy holidays if you're celebrating this weekend, therefore I shall not post tomorrow. I'm taking a little break for a day or two, but no worries, I will be back next week. But I'm just letting you know so you don't worry about me. I'm kidding. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Hope you found it interesting. And you know the drill, if you've enjoyed the diary series, give it a thumbs up. If you hated it, give it a thumbs down. Subscribe to my channel for regular orchid videos. And don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss a video. And with that said, I'll see you all next time. Bye!